What you have in front of you is the main landing page of our Logix on Cloud software. The great thing about this is that everything's accessible through an internet connection. Nothing needs to be uploaded to your laptop or your computer in order to remotely access your signs. On the left-hand side, you do have a toolbar with different sections that we will be going through one by one. The first section that we will look at together is the maps. The maps will allow you to view your entire fleet at once, as well as data that's been collected within the past 15 minutes. Now, if you're looking for data that's been collected days, weeks, months, or even years ago, the maps tile is not going to allow you to do that. This is really what's going to show you what's going on in real time on your roads with the signs that you have connected to the cloud itself. So if you go ahead and click on your little radar sign icon here, you'll have this box that will pop up, and this will give you all the information pertaining to that specific sign. So you'll have the name of the sign as well as the location itself. You'll have the serial number. You'll have the traffic statistics interval. So the data that we will be looking at below is data that's been collected within the past 15 minutes or less. If you're wanting to run a report for this specific sign, if you go ahead and click on that, it will automatically redirect you to the report. If you're wanting to see what the current voltage of your battery is at, this is where you would get that information. Next, we have our last communication. So this shows us the last time the cloud communicated with the sign was at 10:22. So we're talking roughly 6 minutes ago. Now, in the past 6 minutes, we have a total of 5 vehicles that have gone by. The maximum speed of one of those vehicles was 35, the minimum speed was 28, and the posted speed limit is 35. This gives you a great understanding, as I mentioned, in real time of what's going on with the sign that are connected to the cloud. If ever you're wanting to go back to the main landing page, at all times, all you can do is click on the top left-hand side here, or you can automatically select the next section that you're wanting to go to. In this case, we'll click on alerts. Now, we do offer different types of alerts. We have 4 to be exact. We have a maximum speed, a minimum speed, a low battery, as well as a loss of connection. Now, the alerts, keep in mind, are optional. Should you want to use them, great. If not, you can definitely forego the option altogether. The great thing about the alerts is that they can be triggered either by email or by text. So you can have one person receiving numerous alerts as well as numerous people receiving the same alert. Very popular feature. The next thing we have is our system parameters. Now, this really has absolutely nothing to do with the radar sign itself, but everything having to do with the actual account. Should you want to make any changes with regards to your password length, your session timeout, your expiry, this is where you would go ahead and do so. Now, when we set up your account, we do set it up on default settings. If those settings are convenient for you, then you're more than welcome to leave them as is. If not, then you can definitely make any changes that you see fit. Now, the only change that you will not be able to do is with regards to your speed units. Keep in mind that your account will automatically be defaulted to the speed units in your region. Right above our system parameters, we have our user management tile. Now, there are 3 levels of access when it comes to the Safe Place. The first level of access we have is the administrator. The administrator essentially have full access to everything cloud related. So they can run reports, they can add or remove users, as well as add, edit, or delete locations. So there really is no restrictions for them. Right under that, we have our user. Now, the user have somewhat the same access as administrator. The only difference is that they cannot add or remove a profile. You absolutely have to be an administrator in order to have access to that specific one. Last but not least, we have is our reporter. And that speaks for itself. They only have access to the reporting side of things. So when they log into the account, the only tile that they will have access to would be the reporting tile. Everything else will be grayed out and non-accessible to them. Now, there are no minimum or maximum amount of users that you can have in the category. So it really is up to you on how you want to go ahead and manage who will have access to what and why. To create a user, very simple. On the top left-hand side here, you have the add user function. If you go ahead and click on that, you have this box that will pop up and you're prompted to fill in the blank. So the full name, the email address of the new user. You have the drop down with the level of access. You can then decide if you want the account to never expire, or you can always put an expiry date. You'll select the language, and then you'll create a login as well as a password. There is automatically a password expiry default date. you're more than welcome to change that to a closer date should you like to do so. And it's also asking you once again to confirm the password. Once everything is filled out properly, all you have to do is click on save. You can do that as many or as little times as you need, all depending on how many user profiles you're looking to create. The next tile section we're going to be looking at is the Manage Locations. Now, the Manage Locations will allow you to create a new location. And this is being used by customers who have radar signs that will be mobile. If you have a sign that you plan on installing and not having it move from one location to the next, then the Manage Locations tile is not a tile that you will use. However, if you are a customer that has a radar sign that will be moving from place to place, then this is definitely where you're going to be creating your new locations. Keep in mind, every time a sign is moved, a new location needs to be created. Every location will have data associated with it. So to create a location, it's quite simple. All you're going to have to do is click on the top here, Add Location, and automatically you'll have the search engine that will pop up. Now, our system is automatically linked with Google Maps. So once you start physically entering in an address, the system should automatically generate an address. And if the address that they've selected is correct, then you can actually go ahead and click on that. And once you do so, there is a pin that will fall exactly to the address that you've gone ahead and created. If that's correct, then go to the left-hand side and fill in the blanks. So automatically, the name of the sign will be defaulted to the street that it's on. It'll have automatically the physical address that you have entered. You'll select the person who's currently using the account. You can create a group if you have numerous radar feedback signs and you want to have them in specific groups. For example, radar 1, 2, and 3, you want them in group A, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in group B, and so on and so forth. You can definitely create a group. If not, we always create a default group for your signs. Next we have is a traffic direction, so north, south, east, or west. So the traffic direction, north, south, east, or west. And then you have your time zone. So you have to make sure to really select every option so that you're able to create the location. So once it's gone ahead and added successfully, automatically here it is on the actual toolbar. Now, to reassign a sign from one location to the next, essentially what you're going to have to do is disassign it from the location that it's currently at and reassign it to the location it's currently going to. In order to do so, you have to make sure that you are aware of the sign type. So in this case, it is an Evolution 12. So we will click on the 88 gray here at the location that we've just created. We will select an Evolution 12, which is a sign that we're moving. If you click on sign here, automatically, as you can see here, it is the one that we've decided that we're going to move. So you're going to click on that, and then once again, click on the sign model. Once you do so and click on save, what will happen is that the sign will be removed from the location it was previously at, and it will be reassigned to the location that we've just created. It's very simple to do, but it allows our system to keep track of the start and the end date of when the sign was at a specific location, as well as the data itself. Keep in mind that the data itself is tied to a location and not to the radar sign itself. So when you're running a report and if you have numerous locations, every location that you have created will have data associated with it. Another thing to keep in mind, if you decide that you would like to go ahead and delete a location that you've created, our system will automatically let you know that if ever you're wanting to delete a location Any data associated with this location will be deleted. If there's nothing tied to it, then you're more than welcome to go ahead and delete it. But if you have data that you have there that you would like to keep, I strongly suggest that you not delete the location. Right above our managed locations, we have our tools. And the tools, as with regards as well as the reports, are probably two of the most important files. The tools are actually going to allow you to do your sign settings. So we have all these different subcategories that we can kind of go through. The radar sign dashboard is essentially the same thing as the map, but in a completely different view. This is going to allow you to view all your signs at once, as opposed to seeing them one by one. Now, this is probably mostly used by customers who have numerous radar feedback signs. If you only have one, the information that you see here, as opposed to the information that you see on the map, is 100% identical. So it really is a matter of preference on how you want to view that information. Then we have schedules as well as holidays and exceptions. This is probably mostly used by customers who have purchased radar signs that will be installed in school zones. Most of the time, a posted speed limit in a school zone will, during the day, will vary to, as opposed to nights and weekends. So this will allow you to actually set yourself a schedule, as opposed to physically having to go and make those changes on a daily basis. Custom message, we do have radar signs that allow you the option of custom messaging. So you can write things like happy holidays, road closure, accident ahead. This will allow you to write a message on the board so that when vehicles are going by, that they can actually read ahead of time what's going on. We have synchronize and reboot. This will allow you, if you see that your sign has lost a connection, you can actually reboot your sign on your own, which is like the first step before calling our support team. You can reboot your sign. Sometimes it works, and then there is no reason to call our customer service support team. If not, at least you know you've done the first. And then we have, last but not least, we have our Citizens Public, which is used by homeowners associations, gated communities, private communities. This allows them to give their residents or their homeowners restricted access to specific information. So we're actually going to go to our sign setting. And the sign settings itself, this is where it's going to allow you to set the actual parameters for your radar feedback sign. So under display settings, you'll go ahead and click here and go to express mode. When you click on express mode, you have this that pops up here. And this is what we call the brains of your sign. So this is really what's going to tell your sign exactly what you want it to do. First off, we have stealth mode. Now, stealth mode is a great little feature. Stealth mode allows your sign to appear to either be off or broken, but is still collecting data. Now, a great percentage of our customers, when they receive their sign, they install it out in the field. And they leave it on stealth mode for about a week or so. So no digits are flashing, nothing is displaying, but your sign is definitely collecting that data. And then on the second week, you can take it off stealth mode. So your digits are flashing, your speed is displaying, and essentially your sign is doing everything it's meant to do. Then you can go ahead and run a report that we have here called the Summary Comparison Report. And it really does give you an accurate reading of how people drive when a sign appears to be off or broken, as opposed to when a sign is on and displaying. So it's a great little feature to have. It is optional should you want to use it. If not, you do not have to even use that option if that's something you would like to forego. Next, we have our display range. Now, the display range, this is what's going to allow you to decide as of what speed you're wanting your sign to start displaying, as opposed to what speed you're wanting your sign to stop displaying. We've had situations where you have teenagers racing down the road, see how high they can get that sign to go. So this will allow you to tap your radar sign at a specific speed. Let's say, for example, the posted speed limit in the area is 31, and you do not want your sign to display anything above, let's say, 60. If somebody's going 67, that data in terms of those numbers in terms of data will be collected, but your sign will stop displaying as of the number you've tapped at here. Next off we have is our posted speed limit. Now there really is no right or wrong answer here, but all depending on where the sign is installed will vary on the posted speed limit in the area. Right under that we have our tolerated speed. Now this essentially is what we call the grace period. So it is the speed that is above the posted speed limit, but in your eyes still acceptable and not yet considered speed. Under that, we have our flashing digits. Now, do you want your digits to flash? If so, great. At what speed do you want them to flash? This is where you would go ahead and enter that number in here. Then we have our strobe. Now, the strobe is a big white light in the middle of your sign that can be mistaken for the flash of the camera. It is used for awareness purposes only. We continue on. Right under we have our turn off strobe above maximum display speed. If you're wanting your strobe to stop if ever a vehicle is going above the speed that you have capped your sign at here, then you would go ahead and check that off. Last but not least, we have our show digits in red at speed. If you're wanting your digits to display in red as of a specific speed, then you would enter that speed right there. Last but not least we have is our reports. Now we do offer different types of reports, and it really all depends on what kind of data you're wanting to pull. Will vary on the type of report that you will select. The first report we have is a weekly report. So this essentially will give you 7 consecutive days of data. Next, we have the summary comparison. Now the summary comparison will allow you to compare 2 different periods of time. We have a custom report, which is the one I'm going to show you a little bit later on. We have a power supply chart, which will show you what the current life of your battery and voltage is at. Your count by speed range, how many vehicles are driving between 0 and 5, 6 and 10, 11 and 15, and so on and so forth. You have your synchronization event log, so how many times you've had to synchronize and reboot your sign. Then we have our first speed versus last speed. Now you have a great number of reports here that will allow you to run different reports, all depending, as I mentioned, on the data that you're wanting to pull. Now I'm going to show you the custom report because it's probably one of the most popular reports. So essentially you will select your custom report. You will then select the location that you're wanting to run a specific report period for. Now, once you select the location, automatically it'll show you what data we have available for that specific location. So in this case, this sign was installed on the 25th of March of this year. And as you can see, this is today's date. So that sign is still currently active at that location and collecting data. You'll go ahead and select a time period that you're wanting to run your specific report period for. So let's go ahead and select November 9th to November 12th. So you have your report period here. Now, the only thing you need to worry about besides the dates themselves is the interval. The best piece of advice I can give you is the bigger your report is, the bigger your interval should be. If you're running a monthly report, I strongly suggest you not to run with a 15-minute interval. First of all, it will take forever to load, and the report will be absolutely gigantic. So always make sure you're selecting an interval that will go with the type of report that you've selected. So in this case, I will select hourly and click on Build Report. So as you can see here, when you click on Build Report, automatically you have this that loads. On the right-hand side, we have everything pertaining to the sign itself. So you have the name of the sign, you have the location, you have the posted speed limit, as well as the total vehicle count. On the left-hand side, we have everything with regards to the actual report period and the data collection types box. Now, if you click on that, we have this box that will pop up, and this will give you all of the options that you can have your report display. Because you're customizing your report, you can choose exactly what you want as opposed to being given all of the options that sometimes are not necessary. So let's go ahead and choose total vehicle count, number of vehicles respecting the limit, percentage of speed violations, number of speed violations, and 85th percentile. So in this case, in the matter of literally 5 clicks, we have a full hourly report for the period that you've requested. If you go ahead and scroll to the bottom, you'll have a summary of each column that is created and populated for you. In each column, you'll always see a number that is bolded out. That is always going to be the highest number of that specific column. You don't have to calculate it, the system already points it out and finds it for you. You also, on the top left-hand side, have an hourly line graph, color-coded with the options that you've gone ahead and selected. You can then take all of this information. You can actually export it to CSV, which is essentially Excel. You can download it via PDF, or you can print it to have an actual hard copy. So the possibilities when it comes to the reporting side of things are absolutely endless, especially when it comes to CSV or Excel. If you're wanting to export a document, it's very easy to do so. And this allows you to do that without even having to worry about coding. This does it all for you in the matter of literally seconds. And then at that point in time, you can definitely go ahead and filter out what it is that you'd like to remove, and to make sure that the report reflects exactly what you would like for it to report. Hopefully this was helpful. There are so many advantages to the SafeBase Cloud, as you can see.